Modern men are obsessed with testosterone optimization, testosterone replacement therapy clinics, supplements, peptides, hormone protocols. But here's what most creators won't tell you. For thousands of years, Viking warriors maintained naturally high testosterone without a single injection, without supplements, without any of the modern tools we think are essential. By the end of this video, you'll understand 6 daily habits that Vikings did naturally, that modern science now proves boost testosterone more than most supplements. And once you see what changed, you'll understand why we actually need these interventions now. Testosterone levels in young men are at historic lows. We're talking 20 to 30% lower than men from just 2 generations ago. This isn't genetics. This is environmental collapse. Young men are responding by flooding testosterone replacement therapy clinics. Testosterone therapy is now one of the fastest growing pharmaceutical segments. Creators are selling testosterone boosters, peptides, stacks, recovery protocols. And yeah, some of this stuff works. But here's what everyone misses. The reason you need these interventions isn't because testosterone is magical. It's because modern life is actively destroying it. For 50,000 years, human males lived in environments that naturally maximized testosterone. No supplements, no clinics, no protocols, just living. And their testosterone levels were significantly higher than ours. The gap between ancient testosterone and modern testosterone isn't small. It's dramatic. And the reason isn't biology, it's lifestyle. So instead of understanding what broke, modern men are trying to fix the symptom with supplements. They're treating the disease with the wrong medicine. Here's what actually happened. Here are 6 habits that Vikings did every single day that boosted their testosterone naturally. And here's why modern life stripped them all away. Habit 1. Sleep cycles aligned with sunlight. Deep, uninterrupted sleep. Viking warriors didn't have artificial light. They didn't have screens. They didn't have the constant stimulation that keeps modern brains in a state of low-level stress. When the sun set, they slept. When the sun rose, they woke. This sounds simple, but it's profound for testosterone. Here's the mechanism. Testosterone production is directly tied to sleep quality and circadian rhythm. When you sleep deeply, I mean real deep sleep, not the fragmented sleep modern life creates, your body enters a state where testosterone synthesis peaks. Research shows that men who get consistent deep sleep have testosterone levels 30 to 40% higher than men with fragmented sleep. This isn't marginal. This is massive. And it's not about the hours, it's about the quality. Viking warriors slept when their bodies told them to. No artificial light suppressing melatonin. No blue light from phones disrupting circadian rhythm. No staying up late because the internet told them to. The biology is straightforward. Deep sleep triggers luteinizing hormone release, which signals your testes to produce testosterone. Fragmented sleep, interrupted sleep, sleep under artificial light, all of this suppresses that signal. Modern life does the opposite. We stay up late. We use artificial light. We create circadian misalignment. We wonder why testosterone is low. The elegant part about Viking lifestyle is that the testosterone optimization happened automatically. You didn't have to understand the science. You just slept when your body told you to, and testosterone stayed high. But sleep was just the foundation. The real testosterone factory was what happened during their waking hours. Habit 2. Cold exposure. Regular, unavoidable cold water in cold weather. Viking warriors lived in Scandinavia. Cold was not optional. It was life. They bathed in cold water. They trained in cold. They slept in cold. This wasn't toughness training. It was just survival. But the biology is fascinating. Cold exposure triggers a cascade of hormonal responses that directly increase testosterone. When your body is exposed to cold, it activates the sympathetic nervous system. This triggers the release of norepinephrine. Norepinephrine then stimulates testosterone production. This is not theory. This is measurable physiology. Studies on cold exposure show that men who regularly expose themselves to cold water have elevated testosterone levels compared to men who avoid cold. Some research suggests increases of 15 to 20% from cold exposure alone. But here's what's more important. Cold exposure creates metabolic stress that forces your body to adapt. That adaptation response includes increased androgenic hormone production. Your body is literally building resilience, and testosterone is the vehicle for that adaptation. Viking warriors weren't thinking about hormone optimization. They were surviving winter. But their survival required constant cold adaptation. And that adaptation naturally maintained high testosterone. Modern life removed the cold. We have heated houses, heated water, Climate control. We've eliminated the stimulus that forced our bodies to maintain high testosterone, so we wonder why testosterone is low. The elegant part is that this wasn't a hack. It was just exposure to the conditions humans evolved in, and it worked automatically. But cold was just one piece. The real testosterone multiplier was what they did with their bodies physically. Habit 3. Heavy physical work. Specifically, full body compound movements and heavy leg work. Viking warriors didn't go to gyms. They rowed boats. They carried heavy loads. They fought. They built. All of this work required intense leg engagement, back strength, upper body power. Compound movements. Heavy load. Research on testosterone and resistance training is unambiguous. Compound movements with heavy load increase testosterone more than any other stimulus. Specifically, leg work triggers the largest testosterone response because leg muscles are the largest muscle group in your body. When you stress large muscle groups with heavy load, your body responds by increasing testosterone production. This is an adaptation response. Your body is building capacity. Testosterone is the hormone that drives that capacity building. Viking warriors weren't training. They were surviving. But survival required heavy, compound movements, and those movements naturally maintained elevated testosterone. Modern life removed the heavy work. We sit, we drive. We use machines that do the heavy lifting. We go to gyms, but most men avoid heavy leg work because it's hard, so we never trigger the stimulus that maintains testosterone. The science is clear. Heavy compound movements, especially leg work, increase testosterone more than supplements, more than most peptides, more than most optimization protocols. But modern life made heavy work optional, so testosterone collapsed. Habit 4. Low body fat, intermittent fasting patterns, limited food availability. Viking warriors didn't have constant food. They hunted, they fished, they stored food for winter. Between hunts, they went without food. Fasting was not a protocol, it was life. Low body fat and fasting patterns have a direct relationship with testosterone. High body fat increases aromatase, the enzyme that converts testosterone into estrogen. So high body fat directly lowers testosterone while increasing estrogen. Fasting patterns trigger metabolic stress that maintains testosterone sensitivity. When your body is periodically depleted of resources, it doesn't make evolutionary sense to suppress testosterone. Testosterone is needed for resource acquisition, for competition, for physical capacity. Modern life created constant food availability. We eat constantly. We snack between meals. We maintain high body fat. And high body fat plus constant eating results in suppressed testosterone and elevated estrogen. The mechanism is straightforward. Insulin dysregulation from constant eating suppresses testosterone production. High aromatase from high body fat converts testosterone to estrogen. The result is exactly what we see in modern men. Low testosterone and high estrogen at the same time. Viking warriors maintained low body fat and fasting patterns automatically, not through protocol, just through how they lived. And that lifestyle maintained optimal hormone balance. Habit 5. Constant competition and physical status hierarchy. Viking culture was built on competition, physical dominance, and status through strength. This wasn't just cultural, it was biological. Research shows that competition increases testosterone, and status also boosts testosterone. Physical dominance hierarchies keep testosterone elevated in males who hold high status positions. Viking warriors lived in constant competition, training, fighting, raiding, and establishing dominance. This wasn't toxic, it was biology. Competition naturally maintained high testosterone. Modern life has removed competition. We sit in offices and compete through social status and money, not physical capability. We've eliminated the stimulus that drove testosterone production for most of human history. The result is exactly what we'd expect. Testosterone collapsed. Habit 6. Sunlight exposure, all day outdoors, constant UV exposure. Vitamin D from sunlight is directly correlated with testosterone levels. Men with high vitamin D have significantly higher testosterone than men with deficiency. Viking warriors lived outdoors. Sunlight exposure was constant. They weren't thinking about vitamin D, they were just living. But that sunlight exposure maintained testosterone through vitamin D production. Modern life removes sunlight. We work indoors. We drive in cars. We minimize UV exposure. Vitamin D deficiency is now epidemic, and vitamin D deficiency correlates directly with low testosterone. Here's what we actually lost. For thousands of years, human males lived in environments that were testosterone factories. You didn't have to optimize. The environment did it automatically. Sleep aligned with circadian rhythm, cold exposure, heavy physical work, low body fat from limited food availability, constant competition and status hierarchy, sunlight exposure all day. What's elegant about this system is that every single element reinforced the others. Sleep improved recovery from physical work. Physical work maintained low body fat. Competition drove physical capability. Sunlight supported vitamin D production. Cold forced adaptation. The system balanced itself. The biology took care of itself. Testosterone stayed high naturally. Then modern life happened. We created artificial light and disrupted sleep. We eliminated cold exposure. We removed heavy work. We created constant food availability and elevated body fat. We removed competition and status hierarchy based on physical capability. We moved indoors and eliminated sunlight. We systematically removed every stimulus that maintained testosterone naturally, and then we acted surprised that testosterone collapsed. Here's the honest truth. Modern life didn't create a testosterone deficiency. Modern life created an environmental deficiency. We're not broken. We're just living in an environment that doesn't match our biology. Now, you have options. You could try to recreate the ancient environment, sleep better, get cold exposure, train heavy, fast periodically, compete, get sunlight. Some people do this, and yeah, it helps. You can see real testosterone increases from optimizing lifestyle alone, but you're fighting against a system designed to suppress you. Your job requires sitting. Your home has artificial light. Your food is engineered to be hyper-palatable and always available. Your status isn't determined by physical dominance. Your environment is actively working against you. So you have a choice. Spend years fighting your environment to try to restore what should be automatic. Or use tools like TRT to restore what the environment won't provide. Here's what's important to understand. These interventions aren't failures. They're evidence that modern life is broken. When you understand that Vikings maintained high testosterone naturally, and you see that modern men need TRT to achieve the same baseline, you're not looking at a problem with biology. You're looking at a problem with modern civilization. Supplements try to fill the gap. Peptides try to fill the gap. TRT fills the gap. But the real issue is the gap itself. Modern life created it. And until you fix the environment or acknowledge that you can't fix it, these interventions become the logical solution. The reason we need drugs and peptides and optimization protocols isn't because our bodies are broken. It's because the modern environment is broken. And once you understand that, you can make smarter decisions. You can either fight to recreate the ancient environment in your modern life, or you can use modern tools to restore what ancient life provided automatically. Both paths work, but understanding the mechanism, understanding that you're not deficient, you're just modern, that changes everything. If this shifts how you see optimization, subscribe so you don't miss the next system we break down. We're covering the forgotten physiologies that modern life stripped away. Comment below which habit surprised you most. I read every comment.